welcome back to Serendipity Travel Podcast. On today's show, if you love hearing about unique and heartwarming travel stories, then you're in the right place. So on today's episode, we'll be breaking down the groundbreaking partnership between Archer Aviation and United Airlines, their vision to cut your NYC airport commute down to 15 minutes or less, and what this means for the future of urban travel. So buckle up, this one is gonna be fly.
Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine, right? You've just landed at JFK. You see the city skyline, but the thought of that taxi queue, the crawl into Manhattan, it's just looming.
Yeah, that feeling is all too familiar.
Now, picture this. Skipping all that, hopping into, well, basically an air taxi, and it whisks you home in like minutes. Sounds pretty wild, doesn't it?
It really does sound like something out of science fiction. But what's so fascinating here is that this idea, this vision of quicker, more direct city travel, it's actually moving pretty fast towards becoming reality right here in New York City.
Exactly. And that's what this deep dive is all about. We're looking into this really groundbreaking partnership between Archer Aviation and United Airlines. They're teaming up to launch an air taxi network right here. We've dug into info from Archer, from United, checked out surveys on what people think, considered expert analysis, all to, get you the real story.
So our mission today, for everyone listening.
Yeah, it's to give you a clear picture of this whole development, how it might seriously reshape your travel plans down the line, cutting through the hype, giving you the essential insights.
Okay, let's get down to brass tacks then. What's the core idea, the ambition driving this whole Archer and United thing?
Well, Archer Aviation, they're based out in Santa Clara, California, right? And they are all about developing these pretty innovative electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, eVTOL.
Right, eVTOLs. We hear that term a lot now.
Yeah. So they've joined forces with United Airlines, and it's more than just a partnership on paper. United's actually investing, putting their money where their mouth is.
Okay, so they're financially committed.
Exactly, and they've placed a big order for Archer's specific aircraft, the Midnight, the main goal, the big picture, connecting Manhattan with the major airports JFK, LaGuardia, Newark in, get this, 5 to 15 minutes.
Wow, 5 to 15 minutes compared to what, an hour? Maybe 2 hours by car sometimes?
Easily, depending on traffic, yeah. So think about the time savings there. It's potentially massive.
That huge cut in travel time. Well, it could be a game changer, couldn't it? Especially, for business travelers, where time really is money.
Absolutely.
Think about all that lost productivity, just people stuck in traffic. This could actually unlock some serious economic value, just freeing up those hours. And the fact United is investing and buying the planes, it really shows they believe in this, doesn't it?
It really does. And for us, the travelers, the idea is supposed to be pretty simple. You might be able to book these air taxi rides, like as an add-on when you book your United flight.
Seamless integration, okay.
Or maybe through Archer's own app. Now look, the initial pricing, it's probably going to appeal more to business and first-class passengers at first.
Yeah, that makes sense. Premium service, premium price initially.
But the long-term goal, they say, is to bring that cost down, make it affordable enough for maybe daily commuters eventually. And it's not just New York City they're looking at. Archer's got similar plans for LA and San Francisco, too.
Okay, interesting. So a wider network vision. We've got the partnership aims clear. Now let's talk technology. This Midnight aircraft, what's the deal with that?
Okay, this is where it gets really cool, I think. The Midnight, it's Archer's piloted eVTOL. So there's a pilot plus room for 4 passengers.
4 passengers plus pilot. Got it.
And a big selling point they're pushing is it's way quieter and has 0 tailpipe emissions compared to, regular helicopters. That's huge for city noise pollution.
That focus on noise and emissions, well, that lines up perfectly with this whole push for more sustainable city transport, doesn't it? It's not just faster, it's potentially greener.
Exactly. And safety obviously is paramount. They've built in a lot of redundancy. The Midnight has 12 independent electric engines and propellers.
12. Okay, so if one has an issue.
Right, there's plenty of backup. The target safety level is basically the same as commercial airliners. They've also ditched the complex mechanics of helicopters. It's all electric propulsion.
Meaning fewer moving parts, less to go wrong.
Yeah, fewer parts, no combustion engine, no gearbox. It inherently cuts down on potential single points of failure compared to like a traditional helicopter. And here's a neat safety feature. It has fixed wings.
Fixed wings on a vertical takeoff aircraft. How does that work?
It means it can actually glide for up to 20 miles, apparently, if there's an emergency, like a built-in backup plan.
Huh. Gliding capability. That is a smart design touch.
Yeah.
Especially with that distributed propulsion, all those propellers, it definitely shows they're thinking hard about, mitigating the risks of vertical flight. And these are actually being built now.
That's right. Manufacturing is happening in California and also in Georgia. And interestingly, Stellantis, the big car company group.
Yeah, Chrysler, Fiat, Peugeot.
Right. They're the exclusive manufacturer for Archer's EVT Hill tech. Production down in Georgia was actually set to start early this year, 2025.
Okay, so the planes are coming. We get the partnership, the tech. Now, how does this actually work in a place like New York? Super complex environment. Let's talk network, the vertiports, the routes.
Yeah, that's the crucial operational piece, isn't it? The plan for NYC includes setting up these vertiports, essentially, the takeoff and landing spots for these electric birds,
Okay.
at the big airports, naturally JFK, LaGuardia, Newark. But it's not just them. They're also looking at regional airports, Westchester, Teterboro, Republic Airport out on Long Island.
Expanding the reach beyond just the major hubs. Interesting.
And maybe the most interesting bit for people actually in Manhattan, their initial map uses 3 existing heliports: East 34th Street, the downtown Skyport, and West 30th Street.
Ah, so they're tapping into existing infrastructure where they can. That probably helps speed things up, right?
You'd think so. Saves building everything from scratch immediately. And yeah, they're partnering up with various aviation service companies, Atlantic Aviation, Signature, but also newer players like Modern Aviation, Air Pegasus, to get these places ready, electrify them, essentially.
Right, a mix of using what's there and building out the new specialized stuff needed for electric charging and operations. It's like a whole ecosystem they're building.
Precisely. It's definitely a collaborative effort.
Which brings up a really important question for, our listeners. What's the public feeling? Are people actually keen on this idea of hopping in air taxis?
Well, if you believe the surveys, the enthusiasm is pretty high. There was a Honeywell survey early 2025. It found that an amazing 98% of U.S. airline flyers said they'd consider taking an air taxi.
98%. Wow, that's almost everyone.
I know. And get this, 79% said they'd actually travel more often if these kinds of airport air taxi services were available.
Okay, that's a huge potential market then. What's driving that interest? What's the main appeal?
The number one reason, almost half the people, 47%, said it's the potential time saving, getting around faster, and maybe more importantly, avoiding that awful traffic.
Yeah, predictability is key too, isn't it? Knowing it will take 15 minutes, not somewhere between 45 minutes and 2 hours.
Totally. Other big factors were ease of use, convenience, that was 61%, cost was also 61%, which suggests people are interested if the price is right.
Price is always a factor, yeah.
And then minimal environmental impact, that was 44%, and just, the novelty, the curiosity factor, also 44%. Apparently, millennials and frequent flyers are especially excited.
Okay. And beyond just getting travelers from A to B faster, are there sort of wider benefits, economic, societal advantages maybe?
Well, yeah, beyond saving us time, the industry itself is expected to create a fair number of jobs. Think aircraft maintenance, dispatching, software engineers to run the whole network, maybe even specialized emergency response.
A whole new support structure.
Right. It's potentially a whole new economic sector, could spur innovation, attract investment. And like we mentioned, there's that potential upside for more sustainable city travel.
The vision is definitely exciting, and the public seems interested. But let's be realistic. What are the big hurdles? What challenges do Archer and United need to clear to make this actually happen reliably in New York?
Yeah, the challenges. Okay, number one, FAA certification. That's a huge one.
Always is with new aircraft.
Totally. They need what's called type certification for the Midnight aircraft itself. That's the FAA basically saying, yes, this design is safe. Plus, all the operational approvals to run an air taxi service. The safety standards are, understandably, incredibly high.
And that takes time. Serious testing, validation.
Exactly. Now, Archer did hit a big milestone. They got their FAA Part 135 certificate back in June 2024. That lets them operate aircraft for hire. And they got their pilot training program approved too. But that crucial type certification for the Midnight, still pending.
Right. That's the big one for the aircraft itself. It's essential for building public trust and just ensuring the thing is reliable day in, day out.
Absolutely. Then there's just the sheer effort and cost of building the infrastructure. Those vertiports, the charging stations, not just in Manhattan, but out in the suburbs too, where they plan to connect, that needs huge investment, careful planning with cities, communities.
Yeah, zoning, permits, power grid upgrades potentially.
Yeah.
It gets complicated fast in dense areas.
For sure. And even with the high initial interest, they still have to prove it's cost-effective in the long run and consistently reliable. Like we said, it's probably starting out as a premium service.
So what about timelines? When might we actually see these things flying passengers around NYC? Any estimates?
Well, Archer is actually aiming to launch commercially over in Abu Dhabi, possibly as early as this year, 2025.
Abu Dhabi first. Okay.
Yeah. For New York City, the target they're talking about is sometime in 2026. And it's a big but, that totally depends on getting all those FAA approvals sorted.
Right. Regulation is the gatekeeper.
And even then, it'll likely be a slow rollout in the U.S. You know, that crawl, walk, run approach. Start small, limited routes, few aircraft, then build up.
It's probably wise to manage expectations there. And, it's important for listeners to understand, while eVTOLs are super exciting, there is still some, let's say, skepticism in the wider aerospace world, especially about going fully electric for bigger planes or longer flights. Battery tech is still a limiting factor.
That's a really fair point. Experts do point to the energy density issue with current batteries. It's just hard to pack enough power for, say, a transatlantic flight using only electricity right now.
Which is why you see so much focus on other things too, right? Sustainable aviation fuels, hybrid electric systems for traditional planes.
Exactly. It's not an either situation for the whole industry. And we should also remember the eVTOL space is still pretty new. It's faced financial bumps. Some companies have struggled. It's a tough, capital-hungry business for startups.
Definitely. It's a reminder that innovation is great, but the path to long-term sustainable business has real economic and technical hurdles.
No doubt. But it is interesting that Archer isn't just focused on the U.S. They've got these launch edition programs with Ethiopian Airlines, looking at air taxis in Africa, maybe for things like ecotourism.
Oh, interesting application.
And that partnership in the UAE with Abu Dhabi Aviation. It shows they're thinking globally with this tech.
That global view does suggest they see lots of different ways eVTOLs could fit into transportation needs worldwide.
So, okay, let's try and wrap this up for everyone listening. The bottom line is, this Archer and United partnership, it's a really big step towards making air taxis a real thing in New York City.
A tangible option.
It holds out the promise of, much faster, maybe more convenient travel, especially getting to and from those choked airports. And clearly there's a lot of public interest.
But as we've laid out, there are still pretty significant challenges ahead. Getting the final regulatory green lights, actually building out all that ground infrastructure.
Yeah, the vertiports, the chargers.
And then proving it works reliably and affordably over the long haul. That's key for getting everyday people on board eventually.
Absolutely. Still, this whole development could seriously change how you plan your travel around New York in the next few years. It's a really fascinating peek into where city mobility might be headed.
Yeah, it really is. So maybe a final thought for people to chew on as this tech and the infrastructure keeps developing.
Yeah.
What other parts of your daily travel, your commute maybe, could be transformed by these kinds of new transport solutions down the road? Definitely something to think about.
Definitely. And we'll certainly be keeping a close watch on how this all unfolds and bringing you the latest. So follow us for more travel updates, tips, and the future of how we move.
All right, guys, that wraps up today's episode on this rise of air taxis and how Archer and United Airlines might be reshaping the way we travel in and out of cities like New York. Whether you're dreaming of stress-free commutes or just love seeing where technology is going to take us, this is a moment worth paying attention. Thank you for tuning in to Serendipity Travel. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your fellow adventurers. And remember, life is in session. Vlog it. See ya.